It's your drive home on Hot 103. Folks, looks like that storm is headed right for us. Gonna put some gas in my Furman generator, stop by the ABC Fine Wine and Spirits, and of course, watch Mike's weather page. Y'all stay safe out there.
Trumpets rage. You'll always have a friend here at Mike's weather page. Mike's weather page, Mike's weather page, Mike's weather page. You can depend, he'll keep you safe, he'll keep it locked. Mike's weather page. I've seen him chase storms there with Hunter and Louis too. But you know he'll keep you straight at 919 there every day. 1 million fans get it wrong and they're here in Mike's weather page.
All right, what's up, everybody? Good morning. It's our new tune, man. What you think? Well, what's cooking, everybody? It's our Daily Brew, and we'll fade out the tune here. Sound like a really professional producer here. Look at that. A one-man band, man. All right, let me get the comments up, and we will talk tropics. Good morning, Kitron. I see Mary. I see Robin. I see Gail. How many of y'all grew up watching Romper Room? I see Denise. I see Renee. What's up, Steven? I see Eric from Spring Hill. Joseph, thanks, man. That was a cool tune. Thank you very much. That was our buddy Andy Simmons. Louis was the first dog that ran up to me today, so it's all about you today, buddy. Oh, what are you doing? I touched his little weenie. You don't like that, do you? I'm sorry, buddy. I kind of like pinched him down there. That's the first time he's ever done that. Oh, God. Don't ever touch a dog's private parts. Sorry, man. Woo! Not a good way to start the day, Louie. Anyway, that was a new song we had last. Oh, I remember Captain Kangaroo. You mad at me or something? Captain Kangaroo, my goodness, I remember growing up to that. Oh my gosh, that was. I remember the dude's hair, man. What about Mr. Rogers? I remember Mr. Rogers. I remember, God, we used to watch Emergency 51 in preschool. I was a huge Chips fan. Good thing I didn't say anything other than a hot dog. What's up, Dale? All right, so hey, listen, good morning. This is our Daily Brew. Now, listen, Mike's Weather Page is this is our thing. We've been chatting here since 2015, talking hurricanes and watching tropics together with Louie, and we are one big happy family. We're streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter right now. Miss Shelley here is our administrator. She helps control the spammers. So thank you, Miss Shelley. She helps us a lot behind the scenes. And of course, Julie and Phil. So all right, we're going to say hellos for a few minutes. We're going to get right into it. Obviously, everybody's worked up over Fiona, rightfully so. Our Daily Brew brought to you every day by our good friends at ABC Fine Wine and Spirits. If you didn't see it yet, Google Sip and Spill with Mike's weather page. It's hilarious. They did a really good job putting together this funny little skit with 5 minutes of questions at ABC. So really enjoyed that. It was a lot of fun. But anyway, so Denise, thanks over there at YouTube. What's up, Surf Barbie? Used to play Chips. Chips was my all-time favorite show. My mom and dad used to relate time to Chips. Like, I'd be like, how long is it to go here? And they'd be like, it's 2 chips, it's 3 chips, it's 4 chips. 5 chips. Good morning, Dale Johnson. What's up? Good morning, Jose from the Keys. Jim always thanks ABC. They're big supporters of us. We really appreciate it. We have a lot of great supporters, not just ABC. What's up, Mark? Mark Harris. We're talking about the Euro or GFS. What do you think, buddy? You want to go play with your brother? Go play with your brother? All right, we'll go say goodbye. Go say goodbye to Louie. Say bye-bye, buddy. I didn't mean to touch your little private parts down there. He didn't like that. All right, maybe Hunter will come up and say hi to everybody here in a little bit. They're going to go play tug of war. They got a little toy right here they play with. What's up, Jason Cloud? Good morning, Kathy. Good morning. Good morning, Andrew. Chad from, there you go. Switched over to watch on YouTube. Appreciate it. So on YouTube, I've been doing these quickie little updates too, by the way. I did one this morning. I do one at night. That way, if you want something a little more condensed, I've experimented through the years trying to figure out how to do these little quickies, and I think I figured it out. So subscribe over there, and you will get these little quickie videos that, if you want, like short 5, 6, 7 minute videos showing the tropics. So that's something new this year. Of course, big thanks to all our supporters. We have a great little Brew Crew private section that we have a lot of wonderful people that are more to just Mike's weather page. So thanks to all the Brew Crew members for Ride It Out. We finally got a little something to talk about. Not like we're wishing it on anybody, but you know, the anxiety was high for forever. We had one of the longest stretches ever with no storm activity, so everybody was definitely antsy, especially when the early season predictions were so high. You know, we what do we go, like 60 some days or something like that without a name system. It was incredible. So but hey, we're rounding the bend, man. We're on a downhill slide of the roller coaster, and it won't be long. Tropics will be over, so we'll get through it. So Fiona is what we're going to talk about. Obviously, Fiona is the only game in town. The good news for continental U.S. Overnight Euro ended up going back east a little bit, and the CMC now is going a little bit east. We're seeing that classic flip-flopping of models. What's up, buddy? What are you doing? Classic flip-flopping of models. And one thing we showed last night when I did my live was the Euro went into Florida a little bit, but there was more ensembles off the coast of Florida. So usually the ensembles give you a look in the future, and with most of the ensembles showing eastward motion, then the Euro kind of adjusted to that. So, but anyway, let's take a look at the short term. So here's what we got. The Hurricane Hunters are out there flying around right now. Here's the latest spaghetti models. This just came out a minute ago. These are your Tropical Tidbits spaghetti models. They always come out around 9 o'clock Eastern. These are your 12Z model suite. And there you go. Fiona. Okay. There it is. Fiona. What's up, Jason Triplett? Good morning. Carol on vacation. Good morning. Mary Carol. Good morning. Cautious sigh release Mary, at least for continental U.S., correct? Just temporarily. CJ Nitro, appreciate that. What's up, Mr. Greg Montgomery? Oh my goodness, how you been, buddy? Are you busy, I hope? That's Mr. Furman in the house. Greg, tell our Puerto Rican friends down in Puerto Rico, obviously, where they get Furman generators, because we have a lot of folks watching from Puerto Rico. I know that's one of your big markets is Puerto Rico. So I believe it's Costco down there. So if you want to get prepared for the storm, we're definitely going to have some serious rainfall coming. And we're under tropical storm watches now. Probably going to be tropical storm warnings, it looks like, soon. There was a graphic yesterday. It was really weird. The NHC put out the 5 o'clock graphic, and it showed tropical storm warnings, and then they went back to tropical storm watches. So if you thought you were seeing things, you did see a tropical storm warning, but now it's tropical storm watch. So kind of weird what happened there. But so here's what it looks like. Let's zoom in on it. Definitely been getting beat up with shear. The low-level circulation has always been outracing it to the front. So most of your heaviest convection has actually been almost kind of southeast a little bit. And this is expected. We got strong wind shear right now. And, Hunter, what are you doing, buddy? Come here. I think he wants to come up. You want to come up? He's just standing there looking at me. So we got a lot of wind shear. Come here. Let's go say hi to everybody. Everybody, this is Hunter. He's standing there looking at me like a little puppy dog. I think he's sad. He's like, I want to say hi to everybody. So there's Hunter, everybody. Okay. He wanted to say hi. Okay. Go play. They're acting weird today. Maybe they know there's something coming. All right, so there you go. It's on approach. We have a lot of people watching in the islands here. This is a live look at the satellite. So there you go. I mean, it's coming down. We're going to start seeing tropical storm force winds in the islands early this afternoon, and they're going to last through tonight. And I posted a rain map a little bit ago. This is not 100%, but it's the latest Euro and the latest GFS here. And you can get an idea just looking at this, what we can see here. Anything purple, man, it's a foot plus. So, oh, there you go. So yeah, Greg from Furman just put out that Costco and also Walmart and Rent-A-Center down there in Puerto Rico. So our Furman family is down in Puerto Rico. So we hope that you guys support them down there because they support us big time. So how about that? I can't believe Louis nipped at me. His first time ever. But I kind of grabbed him. I think ooh, not good. Oh, I'll have to give him extra love today. So here's the latest rainfall predictions. Obviously, if you read the NHC key messages and stuff, Loretta Reed, you get those dang ads all the time. Tim Martin, I don't know about storms at night. Oh God, we already got somebody starting crap on here. Dominica is under a watch now. Yes, they did add that at 8 o'clock. Sabrina, you're right. So there you go. Purple, foot plus. Anything in the white, light purple is 8-7 inches. So obviously, it's impossible to know who's going to get what. But a lot of these islands can definitely get close to double digits rainfall. So that's definitely on the radar. So obviously, that'll be a big storyline. If this purple sets up over Hispaniola, that's 12 inches plus, and some of this could actually impact Puerto Rico. So big rains coming through this weekend, regardless of wind speed. The Hurricane Hunters are out there right now. You can take a look at it. I got a link. This goes to Tropical Tidbits. It's really cool to see. Almost no winds here where center is because it's pretty much everything is on the east side. Actually, they haven't made a pass yet down here. I bet you there's stronger winds down here. They're on their way now to check this out. But our storm is definitely not very organized, but it's maintaining low pressure. If you look at the low level circulation, this is where you got to realize that once it misses all this shear, it could ramp up pretty darn quick. That's definitely a real possibility once it clears Hispaniola, that once it gets into the Western Caribbean, that we could see this thing really ramp up. In fact, a couple of big dog Mets were comparing the forecast to Dorian early on, a system that kind of left the islands of, Puerto Rico, Hispaniola. Dorian was only expected to be a tropical storm towards Florida, and we knew what happened. So this has got a really tight circulation, and that's the reason that it survived its way all the way across Africa. There was a time, I know you've seen it, I'm not going to show it, but there was a time that there was almost zero convection when it was underneath all that sow and the dusty, dry air, but it had a circulation. Anytime you have a circulation, things can happen quick. So I'm telling you, keep your eye on this. And I'm telling you, I still believe the latest 6Z Euro just came out, and there's going to be a window of opportunity somewhere in here this thing could intensify. H-Warp's been all over it. The latest Euro just came out, and it was in the low 990s now for pressure. So, and the fact this thing is going to the south now, this is, more impacts towards land than if it was to the north. So because this thing's going south, you can expect more rain bands for your islands, Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, and we'll be watching that. So that'll be short term. That'll be through the weekend. But like I said, the latest spaghetti model tracks here just came out. And what I've seen over the years, it's hard to go against the majority in anything in life. That's why you have committees, right? It's a lot easier to pass the blame and buck on when there's four of you all agreeing on the same thing than there is one of you, right? So when you get a lot of model consensus on this track, it's there's more chance of this thing doing this than some of those ensembles that we showed. But with that being said, over the years, we have seen systems that are weak like this do weird things and track west more. So not 100%, but if you want to breathe a sigh of relief, worried about that Euro and CMC, they've shifted a little bit overnight. Now, again, we'll see what the afternoon models show. I'm going to show everybody all the ensembles now, and we're going to look at some of the latest stuff. The track is interesting to me. There's a great site I've discovered this season here, Berg Weather right here. I love this site. I don't know. I always find a new site and really get into it. And you can see, this is what I like. This is the history of our storm right here. So what's kind of neat looking at this, you can kind of see what's been happening over the last day. Our storm's been trekking a little bit south. Cheers, by the way. Ashley Coakley's late. Andrew track. Ooh, don't say that. They've tightened up some, yep. True, Bob Daly, yep. So now the hurricane hunters are out there constantly. They're definitely getting great information. So the hurricane hunters feed. What's up, Sean? Good morning. Windy, don't be before being jerks. Somebody just said, heard that St. Thomas might get 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts. I believe it's 100% accurate. That definitely can happen. This thing, again, the little window of opportunity here, when this thing approaches the islands later tonight, I mean, the waters are getting warm. That ocean heat content's warm. So yeah, I'm going to show all the models here, but currently it's at 50 miles an hour. But the H-Wharf, like I kept showing, has been showing a sneaky little system trying to develop as it nears the islands, and that includes Virgin Islands too. So this is interesting. Here's the official NHC track. They're expecting this to be around 60 miles an hour officially now. So yeah, 100%. 60 mile an hour sustained winds, that means gusts higher. They expect it to be near hurricane strength near Hispaniola, and then back to near hurricane strength in the 5 days. But this is kind of showing us our track, and this is interesting because every time that they talk about their NHC discussion, they mention that they've had to nudge the track a little bit south, a little bit west. So there you go. Weaker west systems sometimes get tricky. Just saying. This thing, a lot of these models are expecting intensification here and a pull upward because of that intensification. If this thing stays weak and gets beat up and trickles itself a little bit over there, then we'll have to watch it a little bit more. All right. So let's take a look at. All right, and then this popped up today. I completely forget sometimes that we're talking about other stuff in the tropics. So remember last week they were showing on a frontal boundary coming off here, and that indeed might happen, but it doesn't mean anything. It's going to Atlantic. Could affect Bermuda right here. So we'll watch that. But sometimes these frontal boundary systems aren't anything to get too worked up about. We got a little pressure, little spot off behind Fiona here that. It's going up. The wave that we were watching off Africa that was such a big question mark last week is not even showing up now on a lot of the models. Remember that one wave that was going to come from behind? You can see it. It's big. Just no circulation. Might be moving a little tick too fast too. So here it is. So there is the current NHC map, and this is the frontal line that it's showing. This is the other area it's showing. This is not showing, but there's just no circulation. At one time this was going to follow Fiona, and it's not. So there you go. This is the only thing in town right here. Boom. There's some dry air in front of it. You can see that. That's interesting. That was it wasn't there yesterday. So it's pushing through some of this dry air. Wind shear. I want to look at that real quick, and then we'll get into the models. So this is real-time stuff. Models are guessing things, but this is real-time. This is where our system's at right here. You can see it right there. So it's got a lot of wind shear. You can see the upper-level winds are pushing. They're coming in from the west, and it's got a lot of wind shear ahead of it. So it doesn't have the most ideal conditions. The ideal conditions are going to come here, as we've seen with so many other storms. So the seed is going to have to get to here before I think we see any any shot of really intensification goes. But in the short term, the next day or so, it's got a lot of wind shear ahead. I mean, that's tough. That's going to be tough for this to push through that and intensify. That's a lot of wind shear. This thing is going to try to get through. So the conditions are not the best right now. Another great site that we can see that I love is this cyclonic weather site. What's up, John Ferguson? What's up, Ricky? Georgia. Mary Hernandez. What's up, Mr. Soul? We got a lot of regulars. We got a lot of people who only pop in during storms, too. NASCAR Dale, is that you, Kindberg? Okay. Ricky says, shame on you, Canadian, for caving in. I know. It was the first time. That's what you look for that. There's always an outlier, and when the outlier catches up to the others, then you start to realize it was an outlier. How many times you say outlier? Alberto, that's a good statement. There's a lot of rain coming, man. You're gonna get some gusty winds. There's no doubt about it. The storm's gonna be passing south of Puerto Rico, so you're gonna get definitely gonna get some rain bands towards you. Okay, so I want to show you this one real quick. This is a great site, cyclonic weather. I love it. We can look at Fiona, and here we go. We can look at the red-green visible. And there you go. Let's stop it at the end here because it's kind of hard to see until sunlight comes up. But there you go. Boom. All right, here we go. Pretty picture. I love this. It's my most super duper favorite graphic in the world. This one right here. Check it out. So, first off, yellow indicates lower level clouds. And it is very, very, very structured underneath the winds. Very solidly structured. You can see that. You can see the swirl. You can see it. Cinnamon buns for everyone. But that's the lower level clouds. The upper level clouds here, you can tell, are not stacked. There's nothing on the west side of Fiona. Nothing. All the winds are coming in from the south, well, mainly west, a little bit of south component, but all your upper level winds are blowing our system, and all this cloud cover is displaced. So, doesn't mean much. The only thing it could mean, like I said yesterday, there's always that outside chance that this could end up becoming its own little entity and disappearing, and this get pushed off and completely dry up a system. But I don't know. There is dry air out here. I've seen a million times, though, even a naked swirl will start firing up convection once that shear dies down. So that's a current look. Anyway, there's what you got. Until this passes that shear, we're not expecting to see this thing really get going too much. But the winds are there. There's no doubt. The winds are there. If you look at the current wind chart from the NHC, this is a good little map to give you an idea what the wind spread is if you're curious down the islands. So you come over here and look at this, and you can zoom on. Actually, we only have one wind field right now. Tropical storm force winds. So this is your current kidney. This is the wind field, basically. These are the winds. So if you just kind of draw a line, if this thing continues this path, there's our tropical storm force winds you might feel. That's the wind circle. And of course, this watch was added this morning. If this thing keeps tracking a little bit south, we might get warning with maybe some watches even farther south. But that's it. So it's not really organizing. Too bad. All right, let's look whatever. Let's look at the models, and then we're going to look at the H-Wharf. So we're going to tropical tidbits. We're going to see what good old tropical tidbits is showing here. And yeah, how about that? How about a coffee break? Kimberly Holmes from Deltona, Loretta loves Wind Shear, Nancy from Miami, Christina from Fort Myers. Tropical storm force winds, Bill, great question. We can read out sometimes on the public advisory, I believe, on the NHC discussion. I haven't had to do this all. Here we go. You ask, you get it. Tropical storm force winds extend 125 miles from the center. That's likely behind the center, but still 125 miles out from the center. And pressure is pretty respectable, actually, 1,004. As long as that pressure stays low. But the winds extend out 125 miles an hour. These are usually under the public advisory. They give you that kind of data. All right, everybody pick up the coffee. Cheers to Louie. This cup is 3 years old. Hey, Cinder. Yeah, St. Petersburg has not had a lot of rain this week. It seems like most of these rains have been pushing off just off our west coast into Central Florida, East Coast. That's kind of been the flow with that lingering front. Yeah, we haven't had a lot of rain either. We did have a couple. The ad is too big. What ad? I don't know. Cheers. All right, so here's the deal. So yesterday, let's go right into the Canadian model. So the Canadian had my attention The Canadian was, this is what all the models were seeing in a nutshell. We have basically next weekend, not this weekend tomorrow, the following weekend, there's another frontal line coming down, and that usually means high pressure. So a stronger system, it's going to feel this effects with the high pressure over here, and the high pressure winds actually help accelerate our system northward. And they have a natural poleward motion anyways. Stronger systems naturally get pulled to the north, something called the Coriolis effect. So stronger the system, the more natural poleward motion to the north and then the northeast they have, just going up to the North Pole. So what the models were showing was a stronger system here. It's going to find this weakness and go out ahead of this front. That's the reason of the recurve. And this is next weekend, the following weekend, towards the end of next week to the weekend. That was the thinking. It is still the thinking. What some of the models did yesterday was a slower moving system getting beat up over Hispaniola, missing that fast track north, and this high builds in and starts to basically block the path out to the Atlantic. That's what the CMC and the Euro showed yesterday. So it's still a race between this high pressure and our system here. The quicker this high pressure gets here, could block our system. The faster our system moves, the likelihood of a recurve. And there is a Pacific storm going on near Alaska right now, and a lot of that could actually influence the jet stream for next week. But the models are all taking that into account. I don't have to do that. That's why we have models. We have spaghetti models. Halfway down, then I got a brand new bottle of Mountain Dew. All right, Canadian model finally flipped, and 1,000 millibar around Puerto Rico. Strong kind of little storm in Hispaniola. Then it turns north over the lower Bahamas. Got a lot of fans down that neck of the woods. Timing would be this Monday coming up, 3 days from now. And of course it develops it. Definitely 100% could see a hurricane once this thing clears Hispaniola. And the Canadian 969, and it kind of teases the Carolinas a little bit. Upper level winds show you why. The Canadian shows a little bit of high building in above. The oranges are high, blues are lows. So Canadian runs into that same high pressure system we've been talking about, and it kind of wiggles it close to the Carolinas. But that's why it's doing that, whether it does it or not. It's still an outlier. So there you go. Now the other Canadian runs just 12 hours ago. This is what it did. Weak system. See, the difference is so cool. So we go from a 998 exiting system is strong. Easier to intensify, pull north. Yesterday's 12Z, a very weak, sloppy system that gets beat up, and it doesn't have time to accelerate north. It stays weak and misses that opportunity for the fast track out of here, and that high builds in and shoves it into the Gulf after passing Florida. That was yesterday's run. Windshield wiping, flip-flopping models. You know I love flip-flops. We'll see if the 12Z comes back with the same scenario, with the Euro also. If it sticks to the east, then confidence is definitely increasing. Every day that goes by, you can start to feel more gut instinct that the models are agreeing on the upper air patterns next week. So 12Zs will be key. If we get a bounce back to this race of the high pressure coming in, then we'll see. But the Canadian was all over that yesterday. Last night's run, overnight, 2 nights ago, did the same thing. The most recent run, missed that, pulled it up. There you go. All right, so the Euro. The 6Z just came out. Let me show you that one. This is, by the way, this is on Tropical Tidbits. If I didn't mention that, Tropical Tidbits. So here's what the latest 6Z did on the Euro. It's showing a 998 system just south of Puerto Rico on Saturday night into Sunday. Two things. One, that's stronger. Borderline hurricane. High tropical storm. But definitely being on the south side of the island, you're going to have spiraling rain bands coming up, spiraling storm clouds coming up. And that is your greatest impact, is when a storm is to your south, because you have those rotating northeast quadrant storms. So again, expect a possibly bumpy ride, Virgin Islands too. This thing is going to pass to your south, and it's could be sneaky. So the 60 Euro has to get up to about 996 before it runs into Hispaniola, and that would be Sunday, Monday. Now the 00Z at the same exact timestamp was only 1,000 millibar. Important to note. Latest run's predicting a little stronger system. A little stronger system might be on that pull up and recurve thinking. But the overnight Euro is what it did. Pulled it up through Hispaniola, gets it going through a big part of the middle and lower Bahamas there before it curves. And it does this weird little funky turn at the last second. Again, definitely developing into a hurricane once it's east of Florida. And it stops at 10 days. What it's seeing above is that same high pressure that the Canadian was showing and kind of blocking a little bit. 10 days out. This is a week from Sunday. But big change from yesterday. Yesterday, the Euro was showing this. A weak system over Hispaniola. So again, it all comes down to how strong our system is over the weekend, basically. If it stays weak, this is what the Euro showed yesterday, weak system, 1,003, then it misses that opportunity and it goes through Florida because it's weaker, slower. So we'll keep an eye on afternoon model runs, but this is why it showed into Florida yesterday, is because it was slower, weaker, and that high pressure had a chance to build. And once it built, it builds in over here then, and there's really nowhere to go. So it's a race. But right now, the majority of models are indicating a recurve. Putting it out there. Latest GFS, even though you guys know I have not been a huge fan this year, as many have not been. Strong system, pulling north and doing a classic recurve, getting close to Bermuda. So, all the models are showing really potential for a strong hurricane once it gets past. So we got a lot of people that watch down here too. I mean, this is affecting more than just continental U.S. So don't think because it doesn't affect you, it doesn't affect somebody. So just got to watch, wait, and see. I guess in the short term, we're going to see if this thing keeps dipping south. You can watch the coordinates on the Hurricane Hunters. It's always fun to watch them here on Tropical Tidbits. And it did bump a little bit to the north. So the last fix here, they'll do a new fix soon. But this is what they use for their coordinate plots on a system when they're, checking. So we'll do another pass. Then you connect the dots. You never thought back when you were a kid you'd be connecting dots. Because that's what basically, when they chart a bunch of coordinates out, they start connecting the dots and drawing a line. Remember connect the dots? Who remembers connect the dots? Jamaica, well, you should be watching for sure. If this thing stays weak, the only issue with Jamaica would be it would have to stay weak. If it stayed weak, you would just get more of a rain event. Casey, correct. The high pressure, pretty much impossible for any, even if it's low. The only thing about weaker systems, because they're not stacked vertically, they're easily influenced by your lower level winds. And most of your lower level winds are blowing in from the east to west. So your lower level winds typically this time of year and all times of year blow like this. So lower level winds blow. That's a statement. Lower level winds blow. Lower level winds blow east to west, and that's why weak systems continue on westward. Now, I'm not going to say it happens with this system, but and Bobby will remember this. There's always, it seems like over the years, I've always remember seeing storms that were expected to be strong here. No. And every time it stays weak, it goes west, until it starts to develop enough structure to start feeling upper level winds. So I've seen it over the years where the cone has had to be adjusted several times, and we're seeing slight little bumps in this one. Slight little bumps. But the pressures are there, 1,006. All right, let's look at your ensembles, which I loved so much. I am a huge ensemble fan. Here's your current winds by our wind data. And you can see it's starting to get more yellow around the core. Starting to get a little bit more winds on all sides. We could take a look here at the microwave imagery, see if we're getting any sign of an eye yet. And here's the core here. This is a microwave look. And it's still heavily sheared. These are the classic ones that you look at when they start to wrap around and start to develop a warm eye type feature that allows intensification. All right. So let's put on weather nerds in a second here. Stephanie Stokes, good morning. It's cool to see the regulars, Mirtha. It's cool to see new people. Greg, are you coming on our cruise, man? What's stopping you? Thanks for the stars, Nikki. We got a lot of people in class. Oh, Sabrina's going to ABC for hurricane supplies. A bunch of people going with hurricane supplies. Hey, it's always good to have ABC. Bob, great question. He says, how does the NHC determine their track? Well, if you read their discussions, it fascinates me because they obviously have to believe in what they post. But they also talk a lot about the models. And I love it because they discuss all the models. Usually they'll say they're, the Euro's doing this, the GFS is doing this, the HWRF is doing this. They have some newer models out I had to do my homework on, but they basically take a blend of models. And I've shown graphs before during Irma that the cone is almost exact sometimes as the spaghetti models. So spaghetti models are very important because it's that range that they use for their cone. And a lot of times they'll use a consensus of models, average of the two, sometimes you take your top performing models and you put a little bit more faith in, let's say, the Euro than the GFS. So you'll give that a little more stock, but you got the UK model, then you got this line called the TVCN, which is like a consensus line that they end up kind of using, and it's fascinating. So the models are big parts of forecasting. So read it. Yeah, it's always worth to read the NHC discussion. So Jason says Topsail Island for sure. We're going to show you that. There's still a few that are popping this thing. You know, it's a race, man. And if you remember Sandy had half the models going out to sea, the other half going up into New England. And it was a race between a high pressure that was coming down from Canada. Some of the models had Sandy quicker that it would go out to sea. But in reality, the high blocked Sandy and it turned. So the reason some of these models are showing a turn more northwest is it's thinking the high pressure might come down quicker. Our Fiona's going to be a little slower and get blocked. That's kind of where we're at. I mean, I think it's a guarantee that this thing's going to be a strong system once it clears the islands. For sure. But anyway. All right, so we're going to go into the ensembles now. But hey, first and foremost, I want to bring this up. Hey, Jason Sutton, what's up, buddy? There you go. Yeah, Jason, we mentioned that. Yep. Our buddy Jason over there on YouTube. Jason, you bounce around between YouTube and Facebook, man. Greg was on there this morning, too. But yeah, we definitely reminded all our good friends in Puerto Rico that Furman is a big supplier of power equipment in Puerto Rico. And you can find them at Walmart, Costco, and Rent-A-Center. That's pretty neat to know. They've done a lot of great post-storm service to the islands during Marie, I think it was, right, guys? Marie, you guys went down there and helped a lot with the recovery efforts, getting the islands back in shape. All right, so we're gonna go right into this ensembles. But I gotta mention this since we have more people normally watching. We did a cruise last year, and it was unbelievable. The experience was once of a lifetime. We're sailing on Royal Caribbean this year in March, spring break for many counties in the state of Florida and elsewhere. It's a Monday through Friday cruise. We're going to Coco Cay. We're doing a pre-party Sunday at a resort hotel there at the Cape. Brew crew members are going to be invited to come along to that, even if you're not on the ship. So if you're a brew crew member in the state of Florida or the Southeast, you want to come hang out with a meet and greet and party with your fellow brew crewers, that's in March. But the cruise is filling up, man. I'm really happy with the numbers. We got 100 cabins booked, locked. Rates have gone through the roof because they've lifted all the restrictions on, mandates that they've had and prevented a lot of people. Now that that's gone, the rates have went up. Ours are locked in. The coolest thing about it is I get to do my seminar on the ship, and we're going to have certificates printed out that everybody on the ship gets a certificate of completion for hurricane preparedness. Perfect write-off, wink, wink. If you're in the industry, it's a write-off. So anyway, I got the link everywhere, man. Check it out. And then it's so easy to sign up here. But shameless plug on that because it's so fun, man. It was an amazing week. And this year the kids get to come. I'm so excited. They weren't able to come last year because a couple reasons. But main reason was Emily had softball. And now she gets to go. So how about that? All right, we're going to look at ensembles. Check this out. This is so cool. This is weathernerds.com. Weathernerds.org, not com. And we're going to show exactly what the heck the models are thinking with Fiona. So we can animate these. Stop it. So majority of the models obviously are keeping it south of Puerto Rico. Again, solidifying the fact that Puerto Rico is going to get a lot of rain, a lot of wind, a lot of squall lines coming in at you. So don't turn your cheek on little Fiona, because there's going to be a window of opportunity that she can strengthen here once it passes the islands. Could be a sneaky little hurricane before Hispaniola. Not official. Could be, though. Here's the spread. This is what gets tricky. These are all the different thinking of the euro. So it's important to note right here a couple things you can see. These lighter blue lines indicate a weaker system going west. Stronger the system gets pulled to the north. The same scenario we've been talking about. Makes so much sense. Then we're having a few now turn, just a few, not half, just a few, maybe 20% of them, 15%. But the reason some of these are turning now all of a sudden, that high pressure builds back in and turns back towards the East Coast. Main operational run, kept it off the coast of Florida today. Last night, it kept it more into Florida. So there's that. Let's look at a different version of that same graphic from Weather Nerds. This is a regular plot. What the hell is a plot plat? There's a plot plat. And yes, that's Hunter snoring in the background. A-Bear's box, Ryan. Yes, it's going through it. However, there's a theory that's also attached to the A-Bear's box. It's got to be a cat, too, in order to affect Florida. A-Bear's box theory is a strong hurricane going through the A-Bear box. David. Fiona. All right, so here's the actual... these are 6-day plots. These go out 6 days. And it's clear as day, right? Weaker system has the opportunity to pop out here. A system that turns early and pops out here. So 2 different scenarios are out there, and that's what we got to wait and see. So Florida, East Coast, Gulf, I'm not a hyper. I'm just letting you know, don't take your eyes off it. There's that, there's that possibility here that this thing stays weak and, ends up possibly trucking along somewhere. Not high confidence, but there is a chance. Am I saying there's a chance? There's a chance. Has anybody ever been to Crumble Cookie? And my girl Emily is absolutely in love with that place. And it's pretty tricky, man. They come out with 4 different cookies every week, and pretty cool concept. So I'm looking over here, and I got a pink box on our kitchen counter. So that means she went to Crumble Cookie last night. My gut feeling, Crystal, at this point, it'll. I don't really have one right now. This wind shear has really got me. If I went by the model solely, I would have to say it's going to curve and miss the East Coast of the U.S. just by model data. But the theorist in me is this wind shear that it's going to have to battle in the next 24 hours and what it does. I guess we got to wait and see what it does when it comes out on the other side. Because there is some wind shear ahead. And some dry air. That dry air really wasn't in the picture yesterday like it is now. So that's what's tricky about wind shear and dry air. It's hard to predict sometimes going out. But that's a lot of dry air. That kind of came out of nowhere, actually, to tell you the truth. Let's take another look at the dry air map. So it's got two big hurdles right now it's going to have to deal with. One is the satellite's not opening up. It's trying. Let's try it again. Well, not opening up. I don't know if it's my end or what. Let's try it again. One more time. That's weird. There we go. So let's check out water vapor and look at that dry air. So brown is dry air. And that's kind of new, actually. Oof. That's a lot of dry air. So, the weaker goes west theory really is what it does on approach here. And it's got a lot of dry air, man. That's a lot of dry air. It wasn't around yesterday. Dry air can pop out of nowhere, and so can wind shear. Wind shear is hard to predict a couple days out. But this thing has not got the best environment ahead in the short term. Still expected to be 60 miles an hour, though, as it approaches the islands tonight. Still got a big ball of convection. But it's definitely got some negative things around it that kind of developed overnight. So I don't know. You know, the weak west thing really got me intrigued. After today's afternoon 12Z runs, I'm really going to be curious what the Euro and the CMC shows. Because it'll start sampling all this data. One thing the hurricane hunters do too is they sample all this air data out ahead of it, out in front of it. They get air samplings. They know the humidity levels of the atmosphere. They know, a lot of the conditions ahead of a system that are going to affect possible development, and all that data is fed into these models. That's why the spaghetti models and our operational models are so important, because the hurricane hunters supply them with real-time data. The models aren't guessing at the level of humidity and dry air surrounding the system. They're actually getting real data. And ultimately, it all comes down to steering currents, There's high pressure here driving it. You can see that. You can see the high pressure has actually had that little bit of south component to it, right? That's kind of why our system bounced a little bit south. And eventually, it's going to feel the effects of a front that might push this high a little bit this way, allowing this thing to curve up. That's the theory. We're going to have that big trough dip next week. And you can see that really cool, too, on the Euro. And I got so many amazing links on my site. I could probably talk all day. I wish I remembered to click half of these things. But this is a cool map that kind of shows you what's going on next week with what's coming down. And as we get into next week here, you're going to start to see this new push. It's kind of hard to see on this one, I guess. But kind of right here. I mean, I guess this would be the best one. This is next Thursday. This kind of tells you in theory what's going on. There's our storm, obviously. This is next Thursday. And the theory here is that we have a frontal line that's driving this around the high pressure out here. So that's the setup. And again, what the Euro showed yesterday was this a little bit flatter and blocked our exit. And thus, that's why it shoved it into Florida. So it's an amazing race. Oh, man. But there you go. In the short term, watch it real time. Like I said, we got a lot of people watching down in the islands. Here's, I got a lot of good links here. This is real-time satellite. Still bubbling away. Middle islands here. Here it comes. I mean, we don't have watches and warnings for some of y'all down there, but, most of the rough stuff's to the north side as the system rotates and coming in at you. But still, there's a track. There's Puerto Rico. There's the Virgin Islands. And, yeah. So, there you go. Let's take one last look at the hurricane hunters here. They're flying around. It always amazes me. This has got to be a heck of a ride right now. They're going straight up right now. I mean, and you know how much jet propulsion? They're not even jets, are they? They're props. Some of them are. I think they're all props. But you imagine the power to go straight up as it climbs up right now? Anybody got a Home Depot 12-foot skeleton? I know someone yesterday said they had one in Jupiter, but how do I get it? I can't drive 3 hours to get that thing. The Home Depots, I don't think they ship to stores, do they? Hey, Henry, I appreciate that, buddy. Henry with the trophy. Cool, man. To curve or not to curve? It is going to curve. Just win. I can't wait to Redneck Storm Chase, Lisa. Mary Chapman, thank you. Jason's got a bottle of Blanton's. Hey, that sounds good. Casey says that's a high-pressure graphic favorite all time. There's a lot of old school links from that Wisconsin site that I still love. For sure. You guys are smashing likes over there, whatever that means. We're trying to, Shelly and I brainstorm YouTube a lot, trying to figure it out. I'll go through spurts and like, come here, buddy. He's on my foot. Come here. You're such a good boy. He was sleeping down there by my feet. I think he was waiting for me. He's such a good boy. He knows. Chad says Home Depot and Palm Coast has a bunch of them. Man, why doesn't anybody over here have them? I thought they ship. I don't know if they ship those, Dale. They're not online. Maybe that's the problem. They don't have them online. I can't find them online. CMC ensembles. Hey, great question, Mickey Smith. I'll definitely do it. I want 2 of those skeletons, Bill, in Lauderdale. That would be my. That would be so cool at Talladega. Hell, I might just have to drive over there. You want to go to Jupiter? All right, so we're going to look at the GFS ensembles, or Canadian. You can get these on Trouble Tibbets. He's got those right here. So there you go. Does that make sense? That funny graphic I posted last night, that's exactly what the GEM, the CMC Canadian models are showing for spaghetti. What do you think about that, Hunter? It's so, I mean, he's just like, oh, you just love doggy. Your brother got mad at me this morning. I heard him. Oh, man, my boys. How the models found the true center and been running from the true pat. Well, that's exactly right. They get inputted the new true center data. So this data that the hurricane hunters are finding now will be fed into the 12Z models. So the 12Z models, every model run now that the hurricane hunters run, you start to see a lot better data. Good data in, good data out. You know how that goes. I think it's time to crack open one. What do you think? It's Friday. I wish. Too early for that. Hey, Greg Montgomery, do you want me to have Kim Shipley call you from our cruise company? We got the cabana. We'll squeeze you in there somehow. So these are the Canadian ensembles, by the way. Hey, there's another site that I got down here. I love this site. This is up here, Noah. These are all my secret links. Let's take a looky here at the ensemble list here. I love this map. So we're going to compare forecast, and we are going to clicky. Hopefully the Euros are loaded. Yes. Victory! All right, so the Euros are loaded. The Canadians are loaded. No, I'm not going to hit Navy. The UK, they're loaded. Yes. All right, GFS. Yes. Oh, my goodness. So this is a good one to get a lot of clicks and likes on my site. because it pretty much. But that's a blend of all your ensembles right now and a few operational runs. So I understand the theory behind it now. A couple years ago, I would just say, "Here's your spaghetti models." Bloody Marys. Oh God, I love Bloody Marys. Norissa wants a cruise. Let's go. Dylan James. I can just do the 11 a.m. I know, but I got to take a break. Isaac Taylor, you want the skeleton so bad? Me too. I don't know how. Heck, I don't know where I would put it during the year. I think I told everybody I was just going to put it in a tree out back. Emily's texting me. Brittany Stewart, we're going to do cheers together. Cheers. Weaker west, stronger north. Casey, that would be a good one. David Berryhill, thanks, buddy. Raleigh needs a cane. Greg's got the wisdom. What's my secret, Mike? I don't have any secret. What are you guys talking about? Greg Montgomery, the man, the myth, the legend. Are we going to party this year or what, man? Nashville's calling us. We need a postseason. We need a postseason. We need a postseason November 2023 plan for the year ahead. Haven't said linguine today. Linguine is our lingering front. The rain is slowly disappearing, by the way, Florida. Sunday looks great. This linguine front that we've been talking about today and tomorrow, the rain chances are up still. Losing a little bit of its punch. I'm going to screenshot this so I can share it once we get done here. The linguine front, let's see the Bay of Campeche. Still bubbling, man. Bubble, bubble, bubble. I should probably close the windows. This is where I get a little scared. Chrome gets a little mad at me once I reach like 40 tabs. I still like Chrome. I think I'm the only one left that uses Chrome. And AOL. There's our bubble, 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 bubble. This is the old leftover lingering front. Sometimes they spin up. Every day I'm going to say sometimes the bay spins up, and then next July, and when it does, I'm going to say, I told everybody, and then I'm going to everybody, man, you're so smart. But they do. Sometimes lingering fronts bubble up down here. See, little spinach. See, little bit. Little spinach. Just a little bit. Not really. Pretty strong winds down there. So, no bubble. No bubble, bubble, bubble. We can look at humidity, though. Let's take a look. See this dry air kind of coming in on our little system here. So dry air is interesting. A lot of obstacles ahead. Weaker west, bottom line. Weaker west. Weekend forecast. Let's look at this really quick. Let's take a look at the dry air map, too. Let's see if this shows our air. Kind of. La-di-doo-dee-doo-dee-doo-dee-doo-dee. All right, look at that. So it kind of shows up a little bit right there. Still bubbling, though. Like I said, bottom line, this thing's got a tight circulation. Every system I've ever seen with a tight circulation, it's going to end up being strong on the other side. It's just got to get through the mountains before it decides on where it's going to go. One of the Mets yesterday brought up a point that, there's been some storms that have crossed through Hispaniola that have went on to be, big ones. Hurricane Laura was one. I was going to look at the track here and see what Laura's track was. Not to say it's going to be a Laura. I'm not trying to scare anybody, but just this was brought up yesterday that, similar tracks that have crossed over Hispaniola and stayed weak have ended up to be significant. So again, once it clears, once it enters this area right here is where you got to really watch them. And yeah, so there you go. There you go. What are you gonna say? I don't know. What am I got going on here? I got tabs everywhere. Here's a tab. There's a tab. Everywhere's a tab. 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 All right. Well, it's the weekend. Let's take a look at the forecast real quick for the weekend. Really fun. I do like. I kind of enjoy regular weather sometimes more than this because the highs and lows of tropic tracking are incredible. I'll tell you, I woke up this morning at 4:30. This is how my brain thinks. I'm like, oh, the Euro, the GFS, 15 minutes, we're going to get a new 5 o'clock update. So I was on my phone early. All right, here's the rains today. This is afternoon. We got them brewing out there in the Gulf of Mexico. We got them sliding west to east again through the state of Florida. A little bit of lingering stuff in Texas. Nothing big. You can tell most everybody's dry. Blue sky. There's the storms that get... So they're popping again this afternoon. Down in the Keys, down in Miami. Heavy rains I-4 south yesterday. Again today. So pretty much your I-4 south line is... all the weather in Florida is controlled by Interstate 4. And that's the only game in town today is Florida and a little bit of rain here in eastern Texas. But look at that. So there's your rains today. Little circulation. And then tomorrow, Saturday morning, little bit of rains developing off the coast. It's just hit or miss. Anytime, any place. Florida Peninsula. Tomorrow also. Tomorrow night, more rains. It seems again I-4 south is the brunt of it. And then Sunday is a lot better for most. I did check into that a lot. We can look at that by going to our QPF page. QPF page, somewhere down here. QPF page. And go into your rainfall forecast. Here is rains tomorrow. And Sunday, drum roll, boom, a lot less. Monday, a lot less. So. And here comes Fiona. That's official. It's already showing up here. I wonder if it's on the 5-day surface charts. Yep, there she is. This is the one NOAA map showing Fiona here on next Friday. Oh, so close. All right, cool beans. Well, listen, that is the dog store in Michael Holland. Yes, it is. For sure. All right. Well, we got some fun stuff coming up. We got a big, we're going to be doing a question and answer fun live with Decks and Docks coming up. I just got an email. A lot of our boater friends out there. We're going to submit questions. We're going to have the crew. One of the biggest, dock and decks, or Decks and Docks is huge. They all up and down the southeast here. Big boating company. So we're excited about that. That'll be fun. Probably in November on that. Can't wait to do that. Be kind of fun. Funniest experience I ever had was trying to dock our boat with 4 pylons. I'm always coming up against docks, easy, but sandwiching it between 4 pylons was a little tricky, I must admit. Especially by myself. I'm pushing and back end sliding, and I'm like, God, I'm trying to lasso the rope. Look like a cowboy. I'm sitting there like, damn it. And then I threw the rope in one time, and the damn thing wasn't hooked on the cleat. Oh, it sank to the bottom. But one time I threw the anchor out without a rope on it. Julie will tell you this story. Pulled up, had the anchor, threw it. No rope attached. There goes my anchor. That was when we first started boating. We had a story every time we went boating. We screwed something up. I lost something, hit something. But we're still here today. So, all right, everybody have a great day. We'll probably be live tonight. I'm having a feeling. 5 or 6. We'll have to depend if the girls want to go out to dinner tonight. What's a record? What do you guys do on YouTube? Yeah, Mike. So the funniest thing was I was pulling into Bahama Breeze once over here in Tampa, and the water line was perfectly matched up to our bow rider, where the light in the front was right where the dock bottom was. And I remember coasting in like 1 mile an hour and hitting that dock, and it ripped my light off. I'm like, oh, what did I just do? I did pull into my dad's the other day. That's where I park it, and he's got huge oak trees out front, and I turned in a little too early, and my Bimini hit the freaking oak tree. Rookie mistake. And then Emily got stuck yesterday in the mud. Well, check this out. This is funny. She's like, Dad. I'm like, oh, God, what'd you hit now? Luckily, she didn't hit anything. But look at that. We've had so much rain in East Lake. The poor girl got stuck. So her first experience getting stuck in the mud. Yeah, Gilligan. Who grew up watching Gilligan's Island? And Gentle Ben. And Flipper. I did. It's fun. Good times. All right, well, I got a lot of work to do. Shelly, thanks for everything. Paula made it with no ads. I don't understand. Some people get them, some people don't. I don't know what the heck this is. I've never had one. I don't know why I never got one. That's it. All right. Well, listen, bottom line, obviously our friends in the Caribbean are watching. Let's take a look. Shelly's going to laugh because I just said we're ending it, but I do want to look at the latest H-Wharf. So, watch for any sneaky little intensification, but with that dry air out ahead, I don't know now. I didn't even notice that earlier. There's a lot of dry air that wasn't around yesterday. So it might not have this window to intensify, but, the latest H-Wharf is actually showing that now, around 60 knots. So, it's borderline hurricane, but, and of course, once it passes, it's on. It's gonna intensify. It's gonna be a hurricane. But as far as sneaky little pops, you just never know. Like I said, the last Euro 990s down here somewhere, so it still has a shot. The NHC's saying 70 miles an hour right before it hits Hispaniola, so we're already at that point. Remember, a couple days ago, it was only expected to be 45 miles an hour. So yeah, definitely, there's an outside chance this thing could intensify a little bit as it approaches. And let's take a look at the winds for fun here. Let's see when the islands are going to start getting their big winds. This is the latest Euro. This is 5 p.m. tonight. And, these are quite gusty. These are gusts, but 50 mile an hour gusts, 60 mile an hour gusts. Obviously, the north side of the system is the strongest side, as our graphic here indicates. This is tonight, Friday night. And, could get, St. John's. This is, 60 mile an hour gusts. So it'll be stormy. How far south it goes, we'll have to see. Then we get into tomorrow morning, we can start to see those wind gusts into Puerto Rico and, really getting strong here on the south side. Again, this thing's passing to the south. That means we're going to have more of the stronger weather coming up from the waters into land. So this is, definitely possibility here for some strong storms. Of course, thunderstorm activity is going to be huge. Regardless, we're going to have a lot of storms tomorrow into Sunday. And then there's our crossover. A lot of storms into the Dominican Republic. We were just there on Royal Caribbean. And then our storm starts to intensify. There's Turks and Caicos, home of Royal Caribbean. No. I think that's where we went to on Carnival. That was our last cruise. The MWP first annual cruise, we were at Turks and Caicos on the Carnival Mardi Gras. But anyway, this is Tuesday morning. And you know what? Let's see. It could be developing into something pretty strong by midweek. All right. Well, I'll be on all day today. We'll be doing some model updates. Most of the models get done running in the afternoon, so I'll probably post that. We got a new NHC update coming out here in a little bit, about by 11, and then I'll do one of my little YouTube quickies around 5:30. That's usually because the NHC just got done with their 5 o'clock update, and then we might go live tonight at 6. If we do, it would be 6 o'clock. All right. See you guys. Thanks so much for watching, and thanks to all the supporters and fans and sponsors like our buddy Greg over here, and of course ABC. Have a good one. Cheers. Friday night. Have one or two for me. Or 3. Bye.